Next on BNI Mid-America TV, it's the Gold Club Member Spotlight Show. Gold Club members have sponsored 6 or more people into BNI, and they are here to share their secrets with you. If you want to improve your inviting techniques, then this is the show for you. And now, our host, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome to BNI Mid-America TV. I am your host, Jennie Bellinger with Level Up Coaching, and this show is, of course, the Gold Club Member Spotlight Show. Today, I have with us Jon Burgmann of the Burgmann Insurance Group. He's a member of BNI Belleville. And Jon, how long have you been a member of BNI?
I've been in BNI since 2014.
Nice. So that's somewhere between 6-7 years at the time of the recording, depending on your application. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day.
Happy to be here. Yes. I'm excited
Awesome.
about the project.
Awesome. Well, first thing we want to do is, because this is a Gold Club Member Spotlight, what we'd like to do is give you the opportunity to talk about your business, what you do here in BNI, and the category that you hold in BNI.
Excellent. All right. Well, my business is the Burgmann Insurance Group. I am the most trusted source of Medicare information, education, and enrollment. And that leads to my category. I hold the life, health, and disability category for my chapter in BNI Belleville. The focus on the individual side for that. Now, I handle everything, mostly Medicare, obviously, as you can tell from the name and the tagline. But I also do individual health. I do individual under 65 health. I do small group health plans. I do dental benefits. I do cancer, heart attack, life insurance, lots of different aspects, all focused around the individual more so than the group, except for the small group health plans that I do.
Awesome. And obviously, BNI has been great for you because you've been a member now for over 6 years. In terms of this, and in your 6 years, you've become a Gold Club member. Now, I know you've been a Gold Club member for a while, so you jumped into the Gold Club pretty quickly. How did you become a member of the Gold Club?
Part of it had to do with when I joined BNI, I was a part of a chapter that was forming. I was part of a pre-core chapter, and so as we were growing that chapter with the momentum that a pre-core chapter has, that I had the opportunity of bringing in several members into that group. And then over time, I've been able to add in another member here and another member there, to the point that I was able to finally join the Gold Club. I want to say that I think I've been in Gold Club for at least 3 years now.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
And
It was good.
once you've sponsored your 6, have you continued to sponsor more, even though you're already in Gold Club?
Absolutely. I'm still looking. I'm still working on trying to find new members, both for my chapter and other chapters. I guess it should be brought out in case people don't know. I also work with the Above and Beyond team as a chapter ambassador. So I'm working with several chapters in the region, and I want to see them grow and succeed, as well as I want to see my own chapter grow and succeed, because it helps us all. So anybody that I come across, if they're a good fit for our chapter, well, I'm going to take them first. But if they're not a good fit for our chapter, and BNI is still a good fit, then I'm going to make sure they know about the other chapters that are in the area and see if I can help them grow.
That's awesome. Do you know off the top of your head how many members you've sponsored?
I was just looking that up before. I was starting to look that up, and then I got a client call right here about 10 minutes before our thing, and I couldn't finish it. But I want to say that I know I believe I'm either at 6 or 7. I don't know that I've gone much past the Gold Club requirement yet, but I know I'm at least at 6 or 7.
Gotcha. Well, the minimum is 6. So we know you've done at least 6. So if you've sponsored any more since you've entered into Gold Club, then you've done more than that. So that's awesome. I like to hear when people don't allow the minimum to stop them and they keep going. That's really great to hear, because that really shows a giver's gain attitude, that it really isn't about you. It's because you've already achieved Gold Club. What's that? You're really doing it for what's best for them, which I think, and best for your team. Now, in sponsoring this many members, that means you've done quite a bit of prospecting. So what would you say is your best prospecting tip to find someone who could come visit your chapter or another chapter?
Well, obviously, the prospecting tips that I utilized in the past are not necessarily as efficient now because of the whole COVID impact on our gatherings and everything like that.
Hmm.
How I did it before in building, because I've lived in this general area. I live in O'Fallon, Illinois, and grew up in the area. Uh, but before I went into business for myself, I wasn't really connected in the area. And it was strongly encouraged that I join BNI as a way to help grow my business and connect. But I also looked at it as a way to learn how to network and to learn how to do and get to know other people. And so, as part of that, I started attending other networking events, primarily the O'Fallon Chamber and other different chamber events and activities around the area. And rather than necessarily go in and just talk about myself, I use those as the events that I would go in and talk about BNI. And I would seek out people, new members to the group, or people that I knew weren't represented in certain chapters, to have conversations specifically with them to find out what works for them, to find out whether or not they were uh, looking to grow, looking to expand. And I've used a variety of techniques, whether I use the grip method or whether I use the hey, I want to introduce you to people that might have referrals for you, or you know, it's not as much about what you say; it's the fact about opening your mouth and actually asking.
Hmm.
The reality of it is that as with any process, a lot of people are afraid of rejection and they don't want to ask because they're afraid somebody might have a bad feeling or whatever. And I've gotten great tips and techniques from BNI throughout the years that help me understand that, if it's not for them, that's okay.
Hmm.
Um, if they've had a bad experience in the past, that's not necessarily what my experience has been. That's why I'm still here. And maybe their experience would be different now because we're different now. BNI is different now. I'm working on trying to transition that experience and that connectivity toward the other ways of meeting groups and meeting people out there, whether it's Facebook, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's the other online versions, since we're not able to get back in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you did bring up the grip method, and just in case there's someone new watching, a new BNI member watching right now, how would you give us the real quick down and dirty of grip? What is the grip method for inviting?
Well, you start with this and you get in there. No, okay. No, that's a little stressful. The grip method. When you're talking to somebody who wants to, who you're interested in inviting, you ask them several questions and to lead them toward the invitation. So GRIP stands for grow. Do you want to grow your business? Are you looking to grow your business? R is, are referrals a good source of business for you? I is, are you interested in meeting other people that might be able to provide referrals for you? And P is, are you available on this time at this place when we were having live meetings to come and meet the other people that might have referrals for you?
Hmm.
So if you go through that series of questions with people, you can generally zero them in and be able to invite them and get them at a specific meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in this case, the place has just changed. It's no longer a physical location now. Now it's Zoom. And now that we've been doing this at the time of this recording for 9, almost 10 months, I would think that most people are probably fairly familiar with Zoom and knowing to all it takes is pop on a Wi-Fi enabled device and click on a link to go
There you
meet
go.
some people, get connected. And so, in this process of going through and inviting, getting people to show up, which we know inviting is easy, getting people to show up might be a little bit trickier. In this day and age, with the current Zoom meetings, do you find that it's actually easier to get people to show up when you've invited them?
What I'm finding out now is that it's not necessarily a question of when you've invited, but how you've invited and how you followed up. Okay.
Mm,
Um, uh, there's it's a different format, and so yes, people are comfortable with it, but they need to understand what's involved. Uh, they need to um, uh, with the system now, having a good system in place for your chapter with the good visitor host to reach out, make sure that the person, once they've been invited, knows um, that they're not only expected, but that we're looking forward to hearing from them, that they have the proper login information so they don't have any problem logging in, and understanding that there is an expectation that's there, that we're inviting you. And so we're expecting this stuff to happen. And that generally tends to um, uh, uh, have people show up more when they know there's more of an expectation. Um,
Absolutely. In all of this process, in the members that you've helped to sponsor, how did you utilize influence or leverage influence in helping them make the decision that BNI was going to be beneficial for them?
that's an interesting question. Um, for most of the people that I sponsored, I did what I think you're supposed to do. When you have a properly ran meeting that follows the agenda, the meeting sells BNI to the visitor.
Mm,
Okay. When it's properly followed, you have a it wouldn't necessarily take my influence. I don't ever want to be the person that kind of uh, uh, I don't want to say twist somebody's arm or whatever, but convinces somebody that they need to join when they're not convinced themselves, because then it's on my shoulders that they're successful. And that's not the way that BNI works. BNI is not a it's not a candy machine. You don't come in, pay your money, and then automatically get referrals. Okay, it's a process. And people learn that by going to the meeting and understanding that the meeting is a process also to make sure visitors are uh, properly educated and informed and then brought in as members. So when you have an effective meeting, that is everything from how the visitors are invited before, how the visitor host reaches out to them, that sort of thing, all the way through toward uh, when they're asked for their interest and whether or not they want to join our group. Um, if somebody's in the right position, if it's right for them at the time, it's generally not a hard decision for them to make. If somebody's not right for BNI, they're not right for BNI, whether or not it's going to be now or it's going to be later.
truth.
And that's okay. Um, but if they're in the right position now, and you run an effective meeting, and you make sure that everybody's there's a great culture in the room, that people make the visitor feel welcome and wanted when they're there, then uh, then that's what's going to allow you to get the most members.
I would definitely agree with that. I think that's a probably the easiest way for a new member, because you don't have to influence people to join, as long as your meeting is working to sell itself and your chapter members are working to encourage uh, warm, welcome, wanted visitors. So last question I have for you is, you've been a BNI member for about 3 years, or I'm sorry, a Gold Club member for about 3 years now ish, somewhere in that range. What would you say is your favorite benefit from being in the Gold Club?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Um, well, there's a variety of benefits that I would be utilizing, except I'm also a part of the Above and Beyond team, so those benefits are also extended there, like the discounted membership or discounted admission to the conferences and that sort of thing. They in pre-COVID years, we had some very nice gatherings, and I would say that the specific Gold Club gatherings and get-togethers that we've had in the past for the annual Gold Club party that they used to have in January, and then they would have special Gold Club networking areas at the different conferences, and I think
Mhm.
that's probably the level of uh, appreciation and recognition that I think I like the most.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Jon, again, for taking time out of your busy day to be here to share with us your experience about, number one, becoming a Gold Club member and, your favorite benefits from being a Gold Club member right now. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, guys, there's another episode coming very soon. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can check in with the Gold Club Member Spotlight Show every single week.
For more information on how BNI can help you build your business, book your complimentary consultation with Virginia Moosekeith at discoverbnimitamerica.com. BNI Mid-America TV is brought to you by the Burgmann Insurance Group, your trusted source for Medicare information, education, and enrollment. Be sure to check out the show notes for additional information on how to contact today's host or guest about their business, and thanks for watching.